Good morning, welcome along to Game Day Breakfast on talkSPORT. Oladipo, former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Some of the headlines you're waking up to. West Ham are on the verge of completing a £40 million deal to bring in Wolves captain Max Kilman. It will reunite him with former Wolves boss Julian Lopetegui, who has replaced David Moyes at the London Stadium. In boxing news, lightweight fighter Ryan Garcia has been expelled from the WBC following him making racist and Islamophobic comments on social media. And Germany were knocked out of the Euros yesterday by Spain as a result of a dramatic 2-1 defeat. Kai Havertz said that the loss was cruel for them. It was a cruel way for them to lose in the way they did.
A lot of individual quality. I think when you don't defend well for 1 second, they punish you straight away. That's what they did. After that, I think we deserved the goal, deserved even more, I think. And at the end, obviously, last minute, we concede another one. Football is tough sometimes. I think we all know it. And now it's time to recover, and obviously it's going to take some days.
Yeah, for more on those stories, you can head to talksport.com. How do you think he did, Kai Havertz? He had a couple of chances, didn't he? He had a couple of headers, Kai Havertz, yesterday.
Yeah, he got better as the game wore on. I thought he had a decent group stage.
Yeah.
You know,
he's had a decent season, hasn't he? He had a whole decent season.
It's still very hard to actually tick that box of being a centre forward. And I know there's different roles, and you have to be much more versatile than you used to be as a footballer. You know, he just doesn't seem like a number 9, does he? No, he doesn't. No, he's never been that clinical, but he stretches teams with his pace, and he's decent enough in the air. He's obviously a very technically gifted player, but I don't think he's going to be the striker at Arsenal that eventually becomes sort of a club legend. I think he's
top guy.
No, I think there's a lot of great things in there, and I think it's a bit like that with Germany as well.
All right, in the other quarter-final yesterday, it was heartbreak for Portugal and a certain Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mbappe's crouching down. He can do nothing about this. Hernandez against Costa. Costa on his line. Big deep breath. Theo Hernandez. One kick to send France into the semi-finals.
Yeah, France beat Portugal in a penalty shootout to reach the semi-finals of Euro 2024 after a tense, sometimes dull showdown in Hamburg. After 120 minutes of football, neither side could find a breakthrough, leaving it 2 penalties. Theo Hernandez, you just heard there, scored the winning penalty after substitute João Felix hit the outside of the post with his effort. The only miss, it marks the end of an era for Portugal captain Cristiano Ronaldo, who confirmed this week it would be his final Euros, but didn't confirm whether or not it would be his final game for Portugal. Obviously, it should be.
Yeah. I personally, I'm watching the game last night, and I'm thinking, you're one of the greatest players that's ever been paraded on a football pitch, of how much talent and how much desire, and you're fantastic in the air. You're a great striker of the ball. You've become a winger to a centre forward. You're the player you were at Real Madrid. But I'm watching last night 2 centre halves that knew he was in their pocket. Yeah.
And he could do nothing.
Upamecano,
he could do nothing.
And could do nothing about it. And never, and a lot of it I said earlier about Martinez not being able to make that call of going, I need to pull Cristiano off.
Why would he not make that call? Like, is it just fear? Is it what is it? Because everyone was almost scratching their heads. It wasn't like there was no replacements on the bench. That, you know, there's Diogo Jota on the bench. There is Ramos on the bench who plays for Paris Saint-Germain. There is Neto, who I know doesn't play as a forward but can play on that front line. Like, why would he not do it apart from fear? I can't understand.
Yeah, I know why he's done it. It's because in his mind he still thinks he can do a great moment.
Roberto Martinez believes that Ronaldo can. Yeah, okay.
He still believes, and the way he spoke about him after the game, in the previous game, about what he gives to the team, is he was basically saying, he's my man and I'm going to absolutely die by him. Yeah. You know, and I felt, you're wrong. You're wrong. You can't. You've got to pull him off. And everything he's achieved in his career for club and country, there's an element, and you mentioned this morning, and I think it's a really valid point, that you can tarnish so much of your legacy, because even Portuguese fans would have recognised last night he should have not been on that pitch, certainly after half-time. Yeah,
it's not sad to see because he's had an amazing career, and look, no one's gonna look back and say his career wasn't fantastic. But when you see even just the free kicks, I'm just talking the set pieces. You know, when he does that, he opens his legs up, doesn't he? Really kind of makes it look like it's all about him and then hits the wall.
Yeah. There were so many parts of his games. There was little flicks, Addy. There was,
it wasn't working.
No, it was painful because, I mean, there is an element of frustration for him because they also weren't really playing to get the ball into certain areas where he kept making runs and trying to get across defenders and it wasn't coming in. But then you think that the manager would even notice that. You think that in the training sessions before they played the game, they say, look, if Cristiano makes this run, you've got to get the ball across. You can't just keep isolating him.
Do you still think he has that same power that
he
once
hasn't.
had?
He hasn't.
No, in terms of in the dressing room. Does he have that same kind of authority? Because I look at this squad, like many moons ago when he was playing, he was literally their only star player. That's what it felt like. You look at that starting 11 now and I see Bernardo Silva is a winner. Pepe's a winner. Ruben Diaz, Bruno Fernandes. These are all big-name footballers.
Yeah.
So surely he doesn't have that sway on the dressing room like he used to have either.
Well, I think he probably does. I mean,
you still think so, yeah?
I still do. But for me, the biggest problem was the manager.
Yeah.
The manager is the one who has to make that call of saying, he's not doing it. If you couldn't see that during the game, then you couldn't have been watching the football match I'm watching. Because I think even if you were just a layman in football terms, you could see Ronaldo was making no impact. I'm watching the two centre-halves, Saliba and Upamecano, being so comfortable in every situation, never feeling it under threat by the centre-forward. And I think that in itself, and I think he literally put his whole efforts, Martinez, on Ronaldo delivering, which I think was wrong. He didn't think about the team and the benefits of the team. He thought about Cristiano and then talked afterwards of what a great player he is. Yes, he was a great player, but it's like the old saying of you're great until you're not.
Yeah.
That line is exactly that. And legs go at all different ages. And he's had a slow deterioration. He's not quite as good. He can still get goals, I'm sure, in a certain league, which he's doing. But Cristiano was sort of fading really at Man United. There were moments from him, which he can do, but he was not the Cristiano that Man United left. Why would he be? He was, 26, 27 when he left, or mid-20s.
And even yesterday, he had a couple of half chances. Maybe not that, actually. Maybe I'm being harsh on him. But there were times when that's all it took from Ronaldo, just a half chance. He didn't need a full chance. It was a half chance. And even those came, and he didn't score. Someone just texted in and said, everything you're saying can be said about Harry Kane. And I disagree. Yeah. Because Harry Kane's actually scored a couple of goals in this tournament. So you know what you're going to get. You're going to get maybe a goal from him. We've had nothing from Ronaldo. No, he's not hit the back of the net. I wouldn't have envisaged Ronaldo in that scenario that came when he got the winner, the 2-1 game against Slovakia, the header late on where he's just, okay, it's bubbled around and he's got on the end of the cross. But I think Kane will still get goals. And yes, it's been a difficult tournament for him, but he's nowhere near where Cristiano is at the moment because he just looks like he's on a fringe of a game, not making any impact at all, and doesn't look dangerous. So that's the scary thing about it.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?